I graduated from pharmacy school in 2018. These people are making so much money. I was like, let me go and find out what all do I need to do. Like, if I want to do that in the future, I would do visualization, write in my journal, and nothing was changing. There's got to be something better than just like every single day going into work. There's got to be
Oh,
something than doing this for 30 years and then waiting until I'm like 60 to retire. And now I can start living.
there's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting more for yourself and wanting to experience a different kind of life. So you mentioned that you like helping people.
I guess finding their passion and not being afraid to actually go after it.
We all have something to offer people. I want somebody who's like already done it. And that gets me excited. Hello, everyone. I'm here today with Jasmine Haskins, and I wanted to introduce you to her. We are in the same program together, so we've just met a few weeks ago now. Depending on when you watch this video, um, we might both be new to you. So, welcome, Jasmine. And I just wanted to ask if you could give us a little bit of background about who you are, what you've been doing over the last few years, and sort of how you came to this place. We are in the same kind of work together, so we're all doing work around, manifestation, but also finding ways that we can serve other people. So I just want to get a little bit of a chance to get to know you a little bit.
Okay, so I graduated from pharmacy school. I'll start there. Graduated from pharmacy school in 2018. And for like maybe like the past probably like 10 years, I've been planning my family's vacation. So I'll go online and look up Airbnbs and whatnot. So I ended up like finding an Airbnb for my husband's graduation, and I saw how much money we were putting down to get this place. And it was probably like $13,000 for about 10 people to stay. And I was like, these people are making so much money. And I was like, let me go and find out like what all do I need to do, like if I want to do that in the future. And I ended up finding this lady who taught Airbnb, but she also like once you get in her program, you see that she ends up talking about like the work that we're in now. So she kind of like flipped it on us. But I was like really interested to see what she was talking about. And that was probably like 2022. And since then I've been like in and out of this work, but like for the past I would say probably like November of 2025. I've been like really deep in this work. So I started listening to Bob Proctor. He has something on Audible and I started listening to it every single morning. Like before I was doing like I would have a routine. I would get up in the morning and I would do like visualization for like 10 minutes and then write in my journal and write down what I was grateful for. Like I would do that on repeat and repeat and nothing was changing. But once I started listening to Bob Proctor like on a regular basis, like I saw how passionate he was about it and I understood how he got to where he was and I wanted to do the same. And I ended up working with a lady who also coaches people to do the work that we do, but also how to become a millionaire. And when I was on the way to go meet her, that's when I found Kathleen. I just, for some reason, my YouTube channel was playing in the background while I was doing my hair. And this lady comes up like, pops on the screen and she's just talking about how she became a millionaire and she was interviewing somebody else who made like I don't know, like $1 billion in their business, like after doing this work. So since then, that was probably like February. I've been like deep into this work and listening to Kathleen and Bob Proctor, and that's how I ended up meeting you earlier this month.
Yeah, it's so interesting, right? How it just she pops up,
Yeah.
on your
I'm
screen.
like, who is that?
Yeah, for me, one of my friends in I think 2021 said, "You got to listen to this woman," and like sent me a link to one of her videos, and to what she was doing. I think one of her social media posts, and then I hopped on one of her events. And yeah, I was like, "Oh, okay, this is the
Yeah,
real deal."
I was
That's
hooked.
really interesting. So the woman who was running the Airbnb training and all of that, you didn't end up pursuing that, but she led you to like this kind of work.
Well, I did Airbnb for a
Oh, you
couple
did
years,
pursue it. Okay.
but but not doing it right now, but I probably will get back into it because I mean everybody uses it, so it's definitely a way to make money. I just don't want to be running it like I was.
Yeah. And I guess too, sometimes when we're doing so many different things, right, it takes our focus away from, our real passion. So what do you think? Because now you're sort of looking at, okay, how do I now help other people get into this kind of work too? And as you're exploring that, is there some area or some um, type of person that you feel drawn to helping or for any kind of way of help? I don't know if that's right.
Um, yeah, well, more like what the way I got started, just somebody who knows there is like something better than what they're doing right now, but they don't know what it is or where to start. So I was kind of like, since I'm in pharmacy, I was kind of like in the place where, well, I'm making decent money. I shouldn't want anything else. But it was just kind of like in the back of my mind, like there's got to be something better than just like every single day going into work, dealing with the same complaints. Everybody hates working there. Everybody's angry. Like there's got to be
Oh,
something than doing this for 30 years and then waiting until I'm like 60 to retire and now I can start living. I just knew there had to be a better way and I wasn't really, I guess, like looking for it. It just kind of like showed up and I started paying more attention, I guess from me wanting it like that, but I just
yeah.
kind of reach out to people that are similar to that.
Pardon me. Yeah, I think that's exactly how that happened for you, is you just had a desire for something more. And we always, in the beginning, right, when we're thinking about wanting more, we always feel this like little nudge of, well, I don't really need it. I'm okay. And probably other people need it more than me or whatever it is. But as we've learned, there's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting more for yourself and wanting to experience a different kind of life. And we've been shown that other people can do that, right? Other people are doing it right now. They're having a lot of freedom in their life. That's one thing I coach on the most is freedom. That's like my word,
Yes.
because that's all I want. I just want to be able to experience life the way I want to do it. And when I mean, it's amazing to be a pharmacist, right? But it's a lot of hours and it's a lot of regular hours, right? Not probably so much flexibility because you got to work within the confines of that environment. And if also you are not enjoying the environment, like the people that you're working with, that's directly affecting our energy too, right? And so I think that awareness is what drives that desire to want something more. And a lot of people never make that awareness. They just do the thing, they go through the motions, right, for sometimes 30 years, and then
Right.
realize, oh my goodness, I kind of like wasted my time, because now they're older and now they feel like they're running out of time. So for you to recognize this now, I think is, you know it's a gift. So what
Yes.
so you mentioned that you like helping people. I assumed you sort of were talking about helping people like create a business, or
Um,
did I get that wrong? You like helping people find like another way of
right.
making money, or
Yeah, making
yeah.
money or starting a business, like just I guess finding their passion and not being afraid to actually go after it, whether that means staying in their job but still doing that passion or
Mhm.
leaving it, but being okay with doing that.
Right. So perhaps helping them build some confidence and become aware, like you are, that they want something more and it's
Right.
okay. And providing maybe an environment where they have other people, maybe like a group coaching program where other people are kind of going through the same thing that they're going through and can support each other through that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Very interesting. So that's really the early stages then of this kind of work, right? Of just realizing that, I mean, there's a lot of noise out there around it, right? Do this and make however much money, and have this side hustle or whatever it is. There's all kinds of information online about that. But it doesn't always align with people's passion, right, with what they're actually interested in getting into. And a lot of people say, well, I don't know what I'm passionate about, I like all these different things. But having a space, like sort of a container where they can come together and explore that and really figure out how they can best serve other people, because I think that's everyone that I know in this work is working towards that. How can I best serve people based on my experiences, what I've learned so far in this journey? How can I take what I know and put that into some kind of offering where people can then, purchase. I can have a business where I'm doing what I love to do and what I know how to do. So would you say then, your experience in the past, is there anything you can think of that people sort of naturally gravitate to you and ask you for help or advice on?
Well, like I said earlier, planning our vacations and
Right?
whatnot, because I find places that are they're luxury, like they're really nice, and then just like sometimes I'll plan like what we go and do, and then other times I'm just coordinating everything for from the payment to who all's gonna come and where they're gonna stay, um, and just like making sure that everybody enjoys themselves and has a good time.
That sounds really fun. I also like doing that a little bit, but I don't think I would like doing it for other people. Maybe for my family, okay, but I don't know about like people I
Right.
don't know. But I just had this thought. That's very interesting of how you could even tie that into this work because people want to have vacations, right? They want to have great experiences in their life. But again, they're like, well, I don't really know how I'm going to do that or how I'm going to find the money to have the kind of vacation that I want to have. I have a certain amount of time off or and I have a certain amount of money, right?
Right.
But maybe you can even help them in the early phases of planning that trip where it's maybe next year, but it's going to be like a trip of a lifetime. And you're helping them manifest, the money even to,
Oh,
but
definitely.
yeah, I think that's one way. I mean, sorry, these ideas are just gonna keep coming up so,
You
as we
know?
talk. But I think that'd be fun, right? Because
Yeah.
people, they come to you maybe and say, okay, I got, $3,000 and I really want to have a great experience. What can you offer? And then you just kind of start looking around for things, right? And see what they're interested in. But maybe it's more of a, I've always wanted to go to Hawaii, but I don't want to just go to, an all-inclusive resort. I want to really be immersed in the culture or like whatever it is that they want, but also up leveling what they want. So encouraging them to dream bigger and encouraging them to, really experience life on a different level, right? And that luxury piece, I think, is a lot what people don't aspire to often because it's expensive, and they think, well, if I stayed somewhere less nice, I'd have more money to do some of the things while I'm there or whatever it is. What do you think?
I actually was thinking about doing that because I love to spend other people's money, but yeah, I was thinking about like showing them like maybe giving them options from what they have to budget with and showing them like the nicer things instead of like I guess like trying to save money on something because I've seen it where the place that we stayed in recently, we went to Destin, Florida. Um, we saved probably like $3,000 on this place just because they had just opened it and they had just put it on Airbnb, but all the other platforms that they had it on, it was $3,000 more, including like all the taxes and fees. So we actually saved money by me finding that same place on a different platform. Same
Right.
place, same dates and times, like everything. So just like I guess I would love to help them like see what's available. And like you said, like thinking bigger because even my family, they're just like, well, we know wherever you plan for us to go, it's gonna be bougie, it's gonna be nice. So you don't
That's
even have to ask
amazing.
us anymore. Just plan it and we'll be there.
So if someone that you don't know right now, was talking to your family member or whatever, and they said, well, you got to talk to Jasmine, she can help you. As they're looking to go somewhere and they really want to, have a great experience, what could you offer them?
Um, I could offer them like at least a package they give me like their budget and I can tell them like, okay, I can find you maybe like 3 to 4 places to give you to choose from, depending on where you want to go, how many people it is, that type of thing. And maybe them telling me like what they might be looking to do, or if they don't even know, just offering
Mhm.
them something they might not have even known that they wanted to do.
Right. So, but you're not charging anything for that at the moment.
Oh no, not at the
Yeah.
moment.
Well, because I suppose in order to charge someone, you'd maybe have to be a travel agent or have some kind of insurance in case something goes wrong, and you don't
Right.
want to be paying for that. However, I
Right.
do think having giving people those choices and saying, "Here's three really good options," um, then it becomes their choice, right? So then they're
Right.
the one choosing, they're the one booking through their services. It doesn't necessarily give you like a travel agent discount in a sense, um,
Right.
But I think there's a lot of that anyway. You're maybe like a travel coach, right? You're more like have your, dreaming of a luxury vacation, I can help you plan and manifest it, in a certain amount of time or whatever. I don't know. Just
Right.
thinking. But yeah, that might be something.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. Especially if
Yeah.
you like doing those kinds of things. So, what
Yeah.
were you? I know you mentioned when we were chatting before about the school platform. What were you looking to get started on there?
Oh, so on the school platform, right now I have set up I have different rooms set up. So I have like a manifestation part, wealth, then I have like luxury travel, and I have like self-care. I kind of have like different rooms set up, so it's sort of inclusive of like your whole entire life, but it's more
Okay.
like here's how to live like in luxury, and how to, like, for the manifestation part, it's more like you deserve it. Like, you don't have to be convinced by somebody else that you deserve to have like nice things. It's not bad to want nice things.
Right.
Something like that. I'm just trying to like, I got different things set up and
So
then
those
trying
are
to,
just like different discussion tabs in
yeah,
school in
they're
one community.
I guess, yeah, they're like different
Yeah.
courses. So under this
Oh,
course, you
courses.
can go
Okay.
from, yeah,
In the classroom.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Well, that's interesting. Is that a free community you're building or do you hope to monetize it?
I have it free for a couple of the rooms, but then some of them are like you have to pay to get in, but it's a monthly payment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's really interesting. What is your school called?
It's called Wealth Manifested Room.
Oh, Manifested Room. Okay. We'll have to check it out.
And
And I can put that link below too for anyone interested in looking at that. I can put your school link below this video.
yes, yes.
Awesome. Um, so with that school, what's your goal? What's your sort of like, if everything goes exactly the way you want it to go, how would that school look?
Um, so it'll look like what I want it to look like is you have an area where you can learn about manifestation, where you learn like it's okay to be happy in life. You figure out what you want to do, and then you have a concrete way to like earn money to do it. So I also have like a room where you can do like investments and put your money and let it in and let it grow. Um, I do have a program that I'm in for travel where people can join it and get like discounted travel, and they can also get like money from telling other people about it, so they can get commission from that. Um, so I have what I want it to be is you you start learning how to better yourself, how to be confident and know that you're worthy of better things, getting an idea of what you want and then going after it and having a concrete way to have like money to actually pay for what you want to do.
Wow, it sounds like there's a lot of opportunities inside your school. Like you have opportunities for, you said people to invest, and then opportunities for them to, if are interested in travel, to be able to, give links to other people to book things, and then they can earn a commission there. And then you have other areas where people can come in and like um, personal growth opportunities for them to join. Um, did I miss something?
I think that was mostly
Course.
I one of them was self-care, but that's still kind of like with the you're worthy of more
Right.
and that type of thing. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to make it all flow together and
Right.
make it
Kind of
like
take them on a bit of a journey. Like if they were
yeah,
to go inside your school, where would you want them to start? I guess sometimes that depends on where they're at, right? In sort of a start where you are type situation. Unless you're looking at a really sort of niched um, audience who are coming to you for a very specific reason. And then it becomes a bit easier to say, okay, here's exactly, here's the steps. Read this first, go into this section, and then whatever. But if you're looking at a very general audience where people are just coming because they want something better, that's like really general. And then that's when things get a little bit more complicated, right? With because then you feel like you have to have everything.
right.
So I always sort of encourage people to choose something, some kind of similarity between these people. So obviously they want a better life, right? They might not all be interested in travel, or helping other people with travel, but I think a good majority of people, especially in this work and who are looking for something better, want to have more experiences, and want to have more money. And, so I think a general increase in their life is a commonality, right? But there
Right.
might be something else too that you can think of that might separate people into sort of a group, right? That then you can talk to and they can hear you through all the noise, right? So maybe like, well, it could be anything. It could be something that it could be something that you've done before, that you've learned along the way that you really are passionate talking about. So if somebody asked you for advice on it, you can just, ramble off for 20 minutes and not even have to, look at a book or anything like that,
Right.
that kind of thing. So I think it's really about just sort of thinking, where is that for you, that place for you inside your school? And that's probably going to be what draws the most people because you're so passionate about it. And when you talk about it, people get it. They're like, oh, she loves talking about that, right? Like they can feel it. Um, and it seems like you do have that passion when you're talking about luxury and you're talking about just being okay with wanting more and helping people to understand that it's okay to even want luxury things, a luxury vacation or whatever it is, right? Yeah, love
Right.
it. um, I'm wondering, is there anything else that you're into or that you want to share while we're on here?
Um, Not that I can think of right now. I mean, I do have an Instagram that I have, like, I post maybe like 2 or 3 times a week, but I'm starting to work on that and get that more consistent. And I was thinking about YouTube because everybody has a YouTube channel, so I'm like, how can I get into YouTube? And
Yeah. YouTube's really great for the simple reason that the differentiation between YouTube and a social media platform is like your content can really just live forever because there's not anytime somebody types in, and YouTube is primarily people go there to be educated in some way. They want to learn something, they want to, know how to do something, or they're interested in a certain subject, right? And it's a search engine at the same time. So they go type in whatever it is they're looking for. As long as your video answers that question, you might come up for that. And it could be 5 year old video, right? Whereas on a platform like Instagram, you made content this week. Well, it's already not being shown to anybody because that
right,
day for 24, maybe 48 hours, if you're lucky, it's being pushed out, right? But to your audience, sometimes other people's audience, right? And the algorithm's always changing. So you never really know where you stand. Whereas YouTube, I think that's why it's gained so much popularity is because people also are willing to go onto YouTube and spend time there. So it's
right,
not this fast scrolling culture. Sometimes people will do that in shorts on YouTube, like in the short videos, but the long videos, whether it's 20 minutes or an hour, some videos, I mean, it's like a movie, right? But they're there. They're like ready to like they're like, okay, I'm ready. What do you got for me? I want to learn this. And that's why they went there. So
right,
when you have something to teach or you have something to offer people, it's a great platform for you to be able to showcase yourself as an expert and be able to connect with an audience that you didn't even know was out there because you're being shown into an entirely different. So it all becomes very important how you label your video and the title card that you give it, the thumbnail that you're providing to make sure that it's attractive and people want to click on it. And then it does, have a lot of those keywords where people might be searching for a specific thing. So there's a really interesting guy named Evan Carmichael who I think is like a YouTube guru. I'll share you his detailed after, but he's just evancarmichael.com. But that's where I've learned so much about YouTube, and how to do that, like how to, put the right titles on your videos and all that. And I'm still learning, of course, and still building. I mean, I really just started doing these videos all the time not too long ago. So, but it's so exciting. Like I really love it. And he also recommends doing this kind of videos, right? And talking with
right,
people. Um, because then you have the ability to also, as you're interviewing them, you're sort of getting in front of their audience, you're allowing your audience to explore different people. It's a win-win situation for everyone, I think. And it just keeps it interesting, right? Because I can just get on here and record myself all the time, but I better have some really interesting stuff to talk about. Otherwise, people are going to get bored, right? Because
right.
there's the attention span thing is still there, right? So we do have to entertain them to an extent, but depending on how specific that topic is that you're talking about, people are looking for exactly that. right? So if you're, wanted to do a video about, how to plan an amazing luxury vacation for under $10,000 for 10 people. I don't know. Like maybe that's a lot. I don't know what the money, but maybe somebody's looking for how to do that, right? And you're just giving them suggestions. You're saying, this is what I would do. So I would go to these sites, I would check out what they have, and you're just essentially like giving it to them. You're giving them value. And that's what YouTube is. So it's not like you're making people pay for your videos to give you that information, because the whole point is you're in a very do it yourself crowd. So they're coming here to find this information and you're giving it to them and they love it. And they're like, okay, I got to follow this girl, and they become a subscriber and they start following you. And then maybe they check out your other stuff or they click the link that you've given them, whatever links you're giving them in that video, right? Maybe those are your links and they're monetized links, maybe, right? Maybe when they click it, you get something from that. And then that video is just going to be on YouTube for however long. So whenever somebody types in that, it comes up. So that's why everybody is saying you got to be on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I definitely need to get on YouTube.
The long and the short of it. Did I convince you?
I can
Yeah.
make a YouTube video about planning a trip. I can do that.
Yeah, 100%. So I think what was recommended. So I did a little training with Evan to like understand what kind of videos to make too. And he has a really good strategy for that. He talks about um, like what would be the question that you would ask, like the person searching for your video would ask, and just go type it into YouTube. And when you see the videos come up that are answering that question, right, you were looking for the ones that are doing really well. So essentially, you're looking for ones that have more views. Is it more views than subscribers? I'm probably going to mess this up. But so say they have, 500,000 subscribers, but their video has a million views, right? Because that's getting outside of their subscribers, right? So that video is doing really well. So if they only have 30,000 subscribers, but their video has reached now 500,000 views, right? Like you can see. So you're really just looking for the videos that are really doing well. I think I've messed that up a little bit, but you can understand what you're looking for then, because I mean you can find another video that's offering the same kind of advice but they've only got 10 views. Like why would you duplicate that video, right? But it could be that their title's wrong. Their title is not answering the question, right? Or the thumbnail looks really awful and nobody wants to click it and watch it, right?
That's the first
um,
thing.
yeah, so you want to find one that looks attractive, that answers the question, and then you just make the same video and you put the same title, because if it's doing really well, yours is going to come up right under theirs, or in some cases, eventually above theirs.
Oh,
So
that's smart.
it's not like you're totally stealing it, because you're going to make your own video. I'm not suggesting duplicating their video. You're going
Right.
to do it in your way, but you're going to use the same title because it's answering the same question for your audience. So he has some really smart strategies like that. He often, I think, works with bigger people now, but he has some like little mini courses and stuff you can take, and he has some really great books too. So Evan Carmichael, he has a book that's called Born to Serve. And that one, I do think he goes in a bit deeper on YouTube, but I'll check it out for you and I'll let you know if those ones are. I haven't read it in a little while, but yeah, very, very interesting YouTube. But I think it's definitely going to carry us into the next several years of this kind of work, like the knowledge industry, which is huge. Um, and that's what everybody really wants to be into, because that's where you're not trading time for money necessarily, unless you're coaching one-on-one, right? But you're trying to get some kind of message out to the masses. You want to coach one to many, not just one on one. You want to impact multiple people with your message or with your video or with your course or whatever it is, right? So I think YouTube, and you can always lead people to your programs too on your YouTube. So if you're answering that basic question, but so somebody watches your video about booking a luxury kitchen and they think, yeah, I don't want to do all that though. I'd rather just have her do it for me. Well, you can absolutely offer that service if you want, right? Because you're going to get those people too who are like, yeah, this all sounds good, but it sounds like too much work for me. I just want to like pay somebody to do that for me, right?
Right. That's me a
So
lot
just
of time.
have, yeah, just have that option there. Well, and if that's you, a lot of times that's probably who you're going to attract too, right? Is like, if I can do this for them in a relatively short amount of time and make some decent money doing it, then why not? Or if I can provide them a link to a shortcut where they can do it themselves and I can still be compensated for that, I mean, amazing business, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I got a lot
Okay.
of work to do.
Do you have any questions? Is there anything you want to talk about or like anything you want to ask?
Um, well, you say you just launched a
Yeah,
course.
I've just launched a course. So I use the Kajabi platform actually. I use school as well for my book club. So I have Steph's book club on school because it's a really nice, easy way for people to just engage. And I can go live on there when we have our group discussions for our book club. But I just launched a program called the Freedom Shift. So this it's a pretty live program. It's 6 months. It's an immersive group coaching program where people can come in and really figure out what kind of life they want to live. Like, how do they want that freedom to look in all areas? So money, time, even spiritually, letting go of some of the things from the past, right? All the work we do. But the second part of it is business. So it is all about, okay, now that you've really discovered, okay, who you are, what it is that you want, what kind of life you want to have, how can we help you to move into a model that's going to support that? So move into a space in the online space because that's where I'm more of an expert on. I've studied so many platforms over the years. So I often have a lot of advice for people to, easy ways to get online. I wouldn't say Kajabi is the easiest way to get online, but I will put my link below because I love the platform. It is amazing, but it does require a bit of work to set up, unlike school. So school
Mm,
is a bit more user friendly in terms of just you want to get something started now. And you can build it out. Of course, you can have courses, you can have, coaching on there, like you can have all of the things. But there are some limitations that for me, when I think long term, I'd outgrow it very quickly.
mm,
Because there's just not the elements that I want. And there is no, email marketing built in and all those other things, right?
yeah.
And I will say, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you how important email marketing is, how important it is to be collecting people's email. So when they're getting into your school, make sure you have that set up that they fill in their email. I think they kind of have to anyway to sign up
Oh,
for your school. Um, but it's really important to be able to connect with people in that way because you don't own any of the other stuff. School could like go bankrupt tomorrow and shut down. And then where's your list? Right. And the same thing for any social media platform. So the first thing that you want to be doing anywhere really is engaging someone in such a way that they then are willing to give you their email address for you to give them some kind of value. Right.
right.
So even if they don't want to join your school right now at this moment, how can I, is it okay if I send you something? Right. And just if they don't want to do the whole business of getting the app and getting on and finding the thing, just say, hey, can I get your email and I'll send it to you? Because if it's free anyway, then that at least gets you in contact with them, right? At least gets you in front of them and on your email list. But most people then it's like, okay, now what do I do? I have all these people on my email list. Well,
Right.
that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other video. But it's a good place to start from the very beginning. Just start collecting email addresses of people who and make a little note. I mean, you can use a spreadsheet, honestly. You don't have to have a platform to plug this into. Just use a spreadsheet and say, this name, here's their email, talk to them about this, put a
Right.
date. And just so that oh, yeah, that's that person. Actually, she was saying this. I think she'd really love this. And then you know how to communicate with them in the future. And just taking 5 minutes to do that, man, it's priceless, right? It's priceless later when you're like, okay, how do I have this new thing. Who's interested in this? And you can go back to that and say, these people, maybe they are interested in this because we talked about this once or whatever. Yeah, I could go on forever, I think. this topic. But it's a huge part of my program that I absolutely love. I love helping people take what they know and get it out there in the world because I think the world really needs it. We all have something to offer people. We all have stories and lessons we've learned, and what's that all for if we can't help someone else to move further along without having to go through some of those same things that we've gone through, right? I mean, of
Yeah.
course, it's all learning, it's all growth, it's all something to be grateful for, but think about how we can move the collective forward in a more powerful way um, when we can help share with them if they're willing to listen. Some of the like shortcuts, right? I know I want
Right.
to learn from somebody who's already done what I'm doing. I don't want to
Exactly.
learn from somebody who's not made any mistakes and who hasn't. I don't want that. I want somebody who's like already done it, and
Yeah,
that gets me excited, right? And it's evidence, of course, that we can do it too if they're doing
exactly.
it. Yeah. So love it. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here, Jasmine. I think we could chat some more about this in the future too. And I'd love to have you back on again when you, get going a little
Right.
bit more into what you're doing and just
Yeah.
circle back with you and kind of chat with you again about it and like share. Cause I know by then you're going to be doing some amazing things and you're going to want to talk
Oh,
about it. So I'd love to have you back then too. So
oh,
thanks for being with me today.
thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Anytime. I appreciate it.